The future of humanity with 5G is inclusive, ensuring that every person, regardless of their location or background, has equal access to the information, opportunities, and resources. So, if you also abide by the same and if you follow the same thing and the zeal about the 5G, I, Himanshu Kaushik, your host of the day, heartily welcome you in today's webinar. So today's webinar is basically on humanity with 5G and what all the advances that we can have in the 5G. So before I move on, I hope that you all are doing safe, sound, happy, and healthy at wherever you're taking this webinar from. So before we move on and learn a lot more about the 5G technology and what are the advances that there are, we have our expert here with us. So I shall introduce you to our expert. We have Dr. Shailesh Khera, a professor and domain head, communication system, School of Electronics and Electrical Engineering, Lovely Professional University here with us. He is an accomplished academician who's having total experience of more than 27 plus years, and of which 10 plus years are only and solely for the research. He has more than 52 research publications already under his name and has guided various PhD and MTech students and help them with their thesis as well. So, sir, I heartily and sincerely welcome you in the webinar. And before I would like you to carry on with the session and give us all the explanation and the knowledge about the 5G. I just want all our participants to know that now you can post in your questions in Q&A box or chat box, or at the end of the session, you can raise your hand as well so that we can allow you to talk, have a talk with our expert here. Now with this, sir, I would like to request you to kindly please take over the screen and looking forward for an amazing session, sir.
Okay, thank you, Himanshi, madam. So now you see, we are into the world of the great era, and that starts with the 5G. So, dear participants and students, what is 5G? 5G stands for fifth generation. Now we will be able to know what is fifth generation. But before that, we can see what are the various generations developed till date. And you all are the people who have born in the mobile era. And dear students, you may be amazing to know what was before the mobile era. Now you can see the world throughout around us just 20 years before. What was the scene? Normally, if you like to contact with your parents or relatives, what were normally we were doing? We were normally posting a letter, a postcard or inland, and then we were receiving the response or communication, what we call today, at least 7 to 10 days. So this was the gap of the communication. And dear students, the things have changed nowadays at a drastic speed. Now you can very well imagine, you can contact through your parents, relatives, friends in the India or even abroad within second. So what we can say, the world is in your hands and that is your palm, right? And that is the great technology we had developed in this era. And normally I say that 5G technology or the wireless technologies what we talk about are the greatest inventions which cater to the humanity till date. So now we have entered the world in the 5G. Lot of expectations are there. Lot of humanity applications are there. And dear students, we will discuss all this in this 1 hour session. But before that, we should know what are the various generations evolved till date. Now, in our communication, the first telephone set was designed by Alexander Graham Bell, all you know, and that was your landline phone. And what was the limitation of the landline? We could not move the landline with us. Landline has a limited range. Now, if I am traveling, now after 20th century, lot of jobs evolved, which required the traveling, which required movement. So landline cannot move with us. So there was no option. It means if I am moving, I am restricted, my communication is restricted, and I cannot communicate to the other persons. So this mobile technology gave us the flexibility that if we are moving, we can communicate with our relatives, our friends, or even our job areas. So that we will discuss. Now you can see this is the PPT. This gives us what was the speed. If we say just a landline, at which data rate? Now data rate is the basic requirement of these days. And you all people are downloading the videos at very fast rate, right? So now it started with few kilobytes per second. Then now it is going up to 1 gigabytes per second and even more than that. Now, if we see the world scenario around us, you can see how many subscribers are there. And if we see the telephone subscribers in India are approximately 100 crores. And out of this, 91% are wireless, right? Because the reason is very simple. It is obvious. With mobile, you can move from one place to another. And landline has a limited geometry, limited area. You cannot carry your landline with you, right? So therefore, nowadays people are using the mobile phones and the subscribers have increased up to 91%, right? Now this is international trend. You can see in India, till last year, 30% population have been evolved in mobile, and for last 1 year, it has been increased many-fold. Now, this is our basic cellular system. Naturally, the cellular system is totally different than your landline system. With landline, you have the fixed wires, but in cellular system, the basic cell structure is there. We are using, you have seen around us, the various mobile towers are there, which are connected and that you are using, right? Now, what is cellular system? Which is the basic of your all the latest wireless communication technologies. It started from naturally 2G, 3G, 4G, and nowadays we are talking of the 5G techniques. So you wireless communication in which several small exchanges are there, right? Which are normally called cells, and these cells are equipped with low power radio antennas over a wide geographical area. Now, as a receiver means what? A cell phone moves from one place to the next. Its identity, location, and radio frequency is handed over by one cell to another without interrupting a call. So you can see a picture. This is a base station here, right? A tower here. This is the mobile station or mobile hand, you can say, handset, what we can normally say, or cell phone. This is connected to this tower, and again, other towers are connected, and it is connecting or transferring your call from one tower to another, what we call one base station to another. And this is a device which passes the data to the server, which computes your position, right? And you can see when we are moving mobile from one station to another, it is called as handover technique. Now, there are the various cells. The cells are systematically arranged. And what we require as a person, as a user, I require that my call should not be disturbed. And for this, we require to transfer our call from one base station to another. And this is called as handover technique, right? So you can see when I am moving, I am connected to one base station. For example, I am moving from Jalandhar to Delhi. Now there are several base stations are there, right? And my cell phone is connected to various base stations. And this is an automatic system. I, as a user, should not be disturbed by the change of the location by the various locations. And that technique is called as handover technique. So you can see a car is moving. When the car started its journey, it was connected to base station 1. When it moved to this destination, it is traveling through various base stations like BS2 and BS3, and then finally call ended. Now, the major difference between the landline phone and the mobile phone or cellular phone is that here we are using a frequency reuse connect, right? And that concept is used. In the landline phone, there is only one frequency allocated. And normally, this concept is very, very useful. Now you can see, if I have a landline phone, and the one frequency is attached to that landline, then if I am dialing or using my phone for half an hour throughout 24 hours, it means the rest of 23 and half hours, I am underutilizing my frequency. And this is totally wastage. To cover up that and to give the facility to larger people, we are using the frequency reuse principle. In this, one frequency can be reallocated to the various persons when the call is over, right? So now we discuss about the various generations. Now, dear students, the first mobile generation was started in USA, and that was named as AMPS system, named as Analog Mobile Phone Service. So that service was analog based. It was not transportable. So much facilities that you are using today was not available in that technique. So the first digital one, and normally we call it as a 2G. 2G stand for second generation cellular system. And the basic technique which you are using is known as GSM, Global System for Mobile Communication. Now here we will just discuss the brief aspects of 2G. Now what are the main features? The frequency with which it is using is 900 megahertz and 1800 megahertz the frequency. It has 124 channels. Now automatic location, you can be identified your the other person, the server, your location. Handover facilities are there, frequency reuse are there, data services are there, certain voice services are there. So these are the frequencies or features that we are using in basic 2G phone. Now, dear students, we have gone through the great change in the technology. Now, if you are remembering that, or you can ask your parents or your elders, when the mobile era came to India around about in 95, 96, we had the big phones like Motorola, Nokia were there, and the handset we were using were very, very handy, right? But nowadays, and also the facilities were only for your call or your SMS messages. But nowadays, you are using the smartphones, and such a great change in technology is there. As I had said earlier, now whole of the world is in your hands. You can do any of the exercise through your smartphones, right? So many features are there in your smartphones. So that change has been done in just 20 years, just 20 years. And that change has very greatly benefited the society. Now you can see the mobile consists of two elements. In landline, we don't require the SIM card. In mobile, we require the SIM cards. And the two elements are there. Number one is the mobile equipment, and number two, SIM, what we call it as a subscriber identity module. So without the SIM, your mobile does not work. And here at this junction, I will let you know that initially, when the mobile era came to India, around about in 95, the SIM card was charged at rupees 4,000 approximately, and you had to book the SIM card. Also, if you see the changes, what we have done in the incoming call was also charged, and the call rates were too high. But within the span of 20 years, due to the advancement of this technology, now mobile has become the era for all, even all people, all common men now can be using the mobile. They can use the mobile. When the technology came, it was thought of that this technology is too costly, and even rich people can't afford that mobile, because first you have to buy the handset, and then the call rates were also too high, right? Approximately 16 rupees were for outgoing calls and 4 rupees for incoming call. If any person is calling you, then again you have to pay for that. So at that time, this was the structure of the mobile phones. But you are seeing that, as I had told, within the span of just 15 to 20 years, the call rates have dropped. And nowadays you are getting the call almost at free. You are getting the data almost at free. So such a technology has been changed, and naturally it has changed our lives, right? Even a common man now can have the access to the mobile. So after 2G, we were in the 2.5G, 2.5G system where the certain SMS messages were there, the support was there, which was provided. And then you can see earlier, as I had told, we were in GSM, then GPRS, the general packet services were there. Then were using the UMTS, which added to the certain features. And that was the just basic of your 3G. And then we designed the new technique that was known as CDMA, and that is known as code division multiple access. And it was naturally the advanced cellular technology, which has very wide band, good speech quality, low property of intercept naturally, high resistance to interference, high time resolution, and reduction of the multipath effects. So normally nowadays, the CDMA penetration in the world is about 27%, and rest we are using is GSM, that is Global System for Mobile Communication. So after 2G, dear students, we moved to the third generation of the mobile systems. And you can see the third generation. So we started with the analog, then we moved to the digital one, then we moved to the GSM plus packet mode, and then we moved to the digital worldwide after 2000. And CDMA 2000 UMTS was part of that mobile. Now, the other important technology is your Wi-Fi systems. Now, during this last Corona period, we were having the broadband connections. We are connecting to each other based on the Wi-Fi systems. So the Wi-Fi systems is the local area networking technology designed to provide in-building or campus broadband coverage. So it is based on 802.1111a or B or G or N standards. It has much higher peak data rates and larger bandwidth. So we can use it beyond building. Now you are aware we can download any of the data through the Wi-Fi connections, right? So these are some of the features which are used in Wi-Fi, and normally what we call it as a IEEE 802.11 standards. And these are the various standards available for that technology. Some of the standards are 802.11, which started in 1997. And then nowadays we are using 802.11n, which is ongoing. Then another very common feature what we are using is Bluetooth. Now Bluetooth is for short range communication technology. It is for short range, short distances. You can transfer your files to the Bluetooth, right? The band what we are using in Bluetooth is 2.4 gigahertz, and normally we can transfer the data rate of 1 megabits per second through small scale applications. Then we have the GPRS systems, general packet radio services. We have the Edge, known as enhanced data rate for GSM evolution. We have the CDMA 2000. So these technologies are used. And then we have WiMAX. Now, what is WiMAX? WiMAX is enhancement of the Wi-Fi technology in which the range is much more high. And here we can call it as a worldwide interportability for microwave access. So its applications are the connecting Wi-Fi hotspots to internet, and then it is the wireless alternative to cable. It is used for data and telecommunication services, and then portable connectivity. And then after these techniques, now there are the various applications of the WCDMA technique. You can see the internet applications where we can go for the browsing, video telephony, email, network games, video conferences. Then we have the home video terminals, audio, video, and high quality music. We can go for the corporate LAN access, file transfer techniques, emails. All these are the WCDMA techniques that we are using in 3G. And dear students, after that, next generation technique that we are living today is 4G. Now 4G stands for fourth generation. Now in 4G, we can transfer the data with much higher speeds. Now there are the multiple views of the 4G, what we can say. Number one, cost reduction. Nowadays you are getting your data at very reduced rate, right? Then the wireless wireline, new year interface, their various services it provides, wireless internet. So these are the various features of 4G. So if we see what is 4G and how it is better than the 3G technologies. So the 4G generation or fourth generation of mobile communication, it defines the data rate of 100 megabytes or megabits per second, no, and extends up to 1 Gbps, right? The techniques which are used is LTE, which we call it a long-term evaluation. Advanced technique we are using the WiMAX 2.0, right? And then the market 4G defined as the speed up to 5 to 10 Mbps technique that we are using. Now, what is the basic difference? In the 4G, it is totally IP-based network, means internet protocol based network that we are using. Also, we are using the LTE. LTE stand for long-term advanced, in which we are using MIMO techniques. MIMO means multiple input, multiple output. Also, we are using frequency division, multiplexing, access techniques. Now, what are the various applications of 4G? Number one, all the three techniques like Bluetooth, Zigbee, WLAN, GSM, we can interface. Then it is used for health applications. It is used for medical applications. It is used for communication applications. Then it is used for your education purposes. It is used for consumer, transportation, entertainment systems, industry, and defense. Then, as I had told, it can be used for online health record. All the devices, what we have, the various devices till date, we can be connect themselves. It can be used for medical purposes. For example, the person or doctors who are sitting in India, he wants to communicate or discuss any medical point with the other person at AIMS or America, so they can communicate, right? Then we have the software defined radio, SDR. Now the introduction of 4G wireless standards means more processing power is required. And for this, we should have flexibility to support growing number of wireless standards. And all these LT long-term evaluation, WiMAX, these are the introductory part of the 4G technology. But if we see nowadays, lot of applications are required. And today we are talking of the artificial intelligence technique, AI techniques. We are talking of the IoTs. We are talking of the autonomous vehicles. We are talking of the driverless techniques, cloud computing. So for all these techniques, what we require? We require the data to be transferred at very high speed. Also the latency means the gap between input and output, that should be very low. We should have taken very quick decision, right? So for all these techniques, we require the advanced version, and that gave rise to our 5G technology. So we will discuss 5G. So in 5G is the solution to all the problems what we are having today, right? And it is the great advanced techniques. So what are the new requirements if I want? So new requirements are, we should have increased capacity naturally and low latency, increased high data rate. Nowadays you are downloading the videos, right? Now that videos should be downloaded at a very, very fast rate. Also, the deployment cost should be less. Personalization, person to person communication should be there. Device conversion should be there. Flexible spectrum usage should be there. So these are the requirements of the new mobile technology that we are using. And now you can see we have the short range communication protocol should be there, that we call it as a near field communication. Then the various applications are there, like get information by touching smart posters. Now you have seen that. So how we are assessing that data, right? Then set up your wireless home office with a touch. Use your NFC, means near far communication, phone as an event ticket, print from your camera. So these are some of the applications that nowadays we are using in the 4G technology. Now, if we see, we have the RFID devices in most of the schools. We have the sensors. You have your driving license where your information is there. You have your passport where information is there. Aadhaar card even where information is there. Smart chips are there. So these are the devices which we are using, right? Now, again, if we go for the Bluetooth applications, we have the online desk facility for visitors. We have lab activity, department wireless, e-notices are there nowadays in most of the schools. E-notices are there. So we are moving towards the world where there is a no paper, and we call it as a paperless one, right? So for this, we require all these technologies. Then Bluetooth-based housekeeping systems are there. These are some of the applications where we are using in the 4G. Now, if we move towards 5G, the 4G versus 5G. Now, till date, the 4G has certain limitations. Now, what are these limitations? Naturally, the connectivity is less poor. So 5G gives us the faster connectivity, right? So it provides much better than 4G. So here you can see by 24 means by next year, 40% of the world will be covered by the 5G technology, right? And revenue, you can see it will be approximately 4.2 billion US dollars. Today, the global spending on 5G infrastructure is around 2.3 billion. And number of 5G connections in 2021 was 20 to 1,000 million. Coverage rate will be 99.99%, approximately 100%, and reduction in network energy usage will be 90%. So nowadays we are moving towards the energy consumption also, how to reduce the energy, right? So if we see the network slicing, so 5G makes it easier to split the network to tailor speed, capacity, coverage, encryption, security by reassigning resources from one network slice to another. So if we talk of the bandwidth, 50% of the network will be utilized, higher bandwidth will be there. Then it will be highly reliable, low latency will be there. And also the energy will be reduced by 10%. Energy consumption will be reduced by 10%. So dear students, you can see just few months before in India also, we have launched the 5G facilities in 13 cities earlier. Now it was extended to 30 cities. And slowly by the end of the year or by the next year, we will be covering the whole of our India. So what is the need? Why we go for the 5G? So this gives you the comparison. So in 4G, latency means what? Now I will discuss with you certain applications in the later part of this lecture. Nowadays, we are talking of the driverless car. So driverless car means there is no driver in the car. It can give us the destination what we require, right? And that is in a great demand nowadays. It is coming very fast. So for this, decision has to be taken very, very fast. The decision has to be taken in very few milliseconds. And for this, we require the latency very, very low. In the case of the 4G, 200 millisecond is the latency. But if we go for 5G, 1 millisecond. So decision can be taken either to stop the car or start the car to avoid the collision within 1 millisecond or even lesser that we require. Here, throughout the connectivity through the internet should be there. So we require very, very slow latency, very, very small latency. So that gives to our application in driverless car, right? Then data rate, 100% improvement is there naturally. Now millimeter wave, the 4G supports 4,000 devices per kilometer square. And you can see 5G supports 1 million devices per kilometer square. Now it is very clear, in 1 kilometer area, the 4G can support only 4,000 devices. Nowadays, we are talking of the IoT system. We are talking of the industry 4.0. We are talking of the smart homes where all the devices are connected, right? So how much devices we require? So naturally, the 5G supports much more devices than the 4G. Speed, you can compare very well. In 4G, the speed is 100 Mbps, whereas in 5G, we can take 10,000 Mbps, right? So you can see here, it is 100 times more speed than the 4G. And if you see downloading, the average HD movie in 4G, it takes 50 minutes. In 5G, it will take just 9 minutes, right? And then IoT devices, IoT stand for Internet of Things. So here, the battery life of low power devices will increase up to 10 years. So these all are the facilities that we are providing in the 5G. And here you can see in 2014, the global mobile system was 3.6 billion, but has raised to in 2020 to 4.6 million, right? In penetration, it was 50%. In 2020, it is increased to 59%. Similarly, mobile operator revenues. So it has increased up to $1.15 trillion. Similarly, SIM connection, you can see in 14, we were moving only 7.3 billion SIM cards we had. Now 20, it has rose to 10 billion. So it is contributing to our business also, right? So there is 5.4% rise in only 6 years. So from 3G to 4G and from 4G to 5G, the data graphic rate or traffic rate, what we can say growth has been 10 times more. Similarly, the mobile industry contribution to GDP, you can see from 2014 to 20, it has rose to $3.9 trillion, right? And similarly, the job opportunities, if we can see. So this is a technique which requires so many jobs. And if we see, our Indian government just has announced that by next year, we require 15 million people who are expertise in the 5G techniques, right? So jobs directly supported by mobile ecosystem. So in 20, 15 million jobs are there, and we require 15 million jobs more, the persons who are expertise in that area. Similarly, the rise of emerging markets, as I've already told, that is the, you can see, the demand of the area. And if we talk of the current technologies like IoT, AI systems, smart homes, everything requires the 5G. So just this gives the mobile traffic that is increased to 55%. Similarly, the more video traffic in 13 times increase is there. Now, if we see this picture, so yesterday we were moving, yesterday means few years before, we were moving in 2G, then we moved to 3G, 4G and 5G and more. Similarly, evolution of mobile phone communication in 1980s, it was just research going on how to move from landline to the mobile phones. In 90, the first UK mobile phone call was there, which we call it normally 1G, then 2G came, after that 3G came, and now it is the need of the hour as per the new technologies are coming. So 4G, and then what we call it as a 5G. Now, what is the mantra of 5G? You can say 5G means smart homes and building cities. Nowadays, we are talking of the smart home systems. So smart homes or smart cities even are not possible without 5Gs, right? The new ways of interfacing, health services and emergency, what we can say, critical infrastructure protection, and then enhancing the foundation. So all are these 5G technologies, right? And if we see here, 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G, a bigger version you will see. So what are the features? Mobile data volumes is 1,000 times more. Connected devices, 10 to 100 times more. Latency, 5 times reduced. End user data rates, 100 to 1,000 times more. And battery life, 10 times more. So all these facilities are there, which are contributing to our 5G systems. And then if we see 5G, so what we can say, 5G is not an evolution of 4G. Evolution, what we can say, evolution means next stage. But if we say 2G or 3G, what was 3G? 3G was evolution of 2G. 4G was evolution of 3G, right? We can say evolution. But 5G is not evolution. It is a full new mobile system. What are the features? connecting everyone, number one. Then dozens of times faster than 4G, reactive, environmental friendly nowadays what we are talking, and connecting objects. So these are some of the features of the 5G. As I had already told, 10,000 times more traffic is there, 100 times more devices are there, latency is reduced, 10 years more battery is there, machine to machine ultra low cost is there, flat energy, the data rates have been increased in the 5G. So these are the performance requirements of the 5G. Now, interaction with the human, but we call it IoT. Then it is used for critical control of remote devices, broadband experiences. Nowadays, in the Corona period, when most of the students were in their homes, we required the broadband connection. We were attending our classes through the broadband. So this was the great opportunity for 5G, where we were using smart vehicles, transport infrastructures, media everywhere. So you can see some of the pictures which are helpful in 5G. So here in 5G, just I will discuss about the techniques which we are using. So we are using the three technologies, three frequencies, what we can say. Number one is sub 1 gigahertz frequency. Number two is 1 to 6 gigahertz frequency. And number three is above 6 gigahertz frequency, right? So it depends upon the application to application where we are using. So these are some of the bands and their impact. So core band, we have 10 to 100 megahertz bandwidth, and then extended band, we have 100 to 500 megahertz bandwidth that we are using. Now, again, still in world, the activity is going on, how to make standardize the 5G, right? So several initiatives have been taken to standardization of 5G. The various standards are there for ITU, which stands for International Telecommunication Union, and then 3GPP systems, which are used for 5G standardization, so that throughout the world, the same standards can be used. Now, this is revenue versus traffic growth. So if we are increasing the traffic, you can see here, the more revenues will be there, means the call rate will be reduced and we can get much more data. So these are the various 5G targets are there. You can see higher system capacity, reduced latency, energy savings, higher data rate, and the very important is massive device connectivity we can have. Now, the 5G requires the two techniques are there. What we can say, as I had told, 5G is not evolution. It is a completely new system for mobile. So it is, you can see network of the past. These are network of the past up to 4G, and these are network of the future. Now, in the network of the past, what we had, macro base stations were there, long distance, high power, high cost, physically large systems were there, but capacity was low and low spectral efficiency was there. But now the future systems will be small cell base station, short distance will be there, low power, low cost, physically small, and high capacity they will cover. So these are some of the examples of the network of the past and network of the future. You can see we had the PIC cabinet was there, databases were there, but nowadays we are using vRAN technology, VEPC, possibly applications share among many base stations are there. So this type of systems we were. Now you can see this type of base station tower everywhere. These are the base station cabinet, but now we have the small base cell base stations are there. So this will be the base station of the future for what we are using, the 5G techniques. So now in the 5G, there will be very small cells. The only solution, this is the only solution to meet 1000 plus network identification. We will have the improved capacity, quality will be improved, low power operation will be there, and that can be applicable to residential areas, enterprises areas, urban and rural areas also. Now, we talk of the applications of 5G. Now, what are the applications of 5G? You can see, number one, as I already told, high-speed mobile network. So the 5G provides us very high-speed mobile network. So as the traffic will be 10,000 times more, latency will be reduced, more devices can be connected. The data rate will be more than 10 gigabits per second, right? So this network speed will be very, very high. This is one of the great application of 5G. Then number two, we can say entertainment and multimedia. Nowadays, everything will be on cloud. So here desktop-like experience will be there. The immersive experience will be there. Like media, lifelike media will be there. Then throughout connectivity you will get. You can access through any of the remote area. So this is called as entertainment and multimedia features of the 5G. And then as I had told, nowadays we are talking of the new technologies, that is Internet of Things. In Internet of Things, we are connecting every device. Nowadays, devices which are not passive, they are smart devices are there. In your homes, for example, refrigerator will be smart, your TV will be smart, your AC will be smart. So when we talk of smart, it means they can check their status by themselves. And if they require any repair, they can call to the concerned service center. And then you don't have to keep the record. So this is meant by the smart devices. And nowadays, we are going toward the smart devices. For example, you make your TV on. Now a TV has a light, right? So if your room light is sufficient, that light can be made screen light, what we can say, that can be dim or more accordingly. Similarly, if your AC is working, which is called as 6th sense ACs. So depending upon the room conditions, they can automatically set their temperature. So these are the smart devices are there. Similarly, smart washing machines are there, which can wash the cloth as per the dirtiness of the cloth, what we can say. So they can check. So therefore, all the devices are smart. Now, if we are moving towards smart devices, we require the very smart speed, and then 5G is the only option. I just previously talked about smart homes, and these nowadays smart homes are in great demand these days. And we can say these are the next generation homes. Now, for example, in your homes, all the devices are smart. And suppose the other example is if I am moving away from the home and I am coming back to my home at 5 p.m. So all the lights are on in my home. All the AC systems are on in my home so that I can feel that cool, right? So that is meant by smart home. So all the devices are smart. All the home appliances are smart. And the home can sense its condition by itself. So the smart homes are the great technology nowadays. It has been implemented. And the only solution to make the devices fast, make the devices smart is 5G. Then you can see the other application is logistics and shipping. Now, how this 5G is helpful in this? Number one, efficient use of RFID tags. Nowadays, you are seeing the RFID. If you are entering any of the offices, you are identified by RFID devices, right? Then accelerated packing and labeling systems are there. Here you can identify your any device through the RFID and you can track the device, right? Or you can even track your speed post, where it is and on which date, time it will deliver to you. That is a great application. Similarly, use of smart tracking devices for accurate monitoring, temperature, shock, light exposure, humidity, etc. Then real-time GPS locations. Now you can see GPS location is great application these days, but sometimes this due to less speed, we are getting the wrong location. Now if speed is fast, it is 5G, then you can get the exact real-time GPS location. Again, efficient monitoring, it minimizes the theft risk, real-time delivery, tracking and reporting. Nowadays, we have online business, online receiving of the so many packets are there, household items are there. So it is real-time delivery can be checked, tracked by using 5G. And again, I had told self-driving cars. So this is the great application what we may have in the next decade or during this decade, self-driving cars, where we don't require to drive our car. We just enter certain our destination, the car will by self drive itself toward the destination. For this, what we require? We require the avoid of the collision. We require the avoid of the accident. And for this, as I had told, latency should be very, very small. The decision should be at very fast rate. So 5G is the solution for the driverless cars and the drones for future goods delivery. So that is the next generation techniques that we have. Then smart cities. Nowadays, we are living in the era, you are knowing about that. Smart cities are there. That is the great uh, systems we have. Now, what is the smart cities? The energy management system, water management system, climate change, flood modeling, smart lighting, predictive lift maintenance, traffic monitoring, means all the services which are provided by your city that are going to be smart. And for this, we require the 5G applications. Similarly, for industrial IoT, as I had told, we are requiring the smart sensor technology, which offers unlimited solutions, safe, cost effective it is, and the energy efficient industrial operations are there. And then nowadays, farming applications. So you can see smart farming. So 5G is making us possible in a smart farming system, right? So how a particular device is there, what is the condition of the moisture, how the motor is to operate it, for what time it is there, what is the best time. So all these processings or decisions are helping us in better farming applications. So decision support systems are there, data preparing is there, real-time virtualization is there, real-time monitoring is there. All these systems are helping in smart farming. And for this, we are using the 5G systems. Again, fleet management. Now in fleet management, we can say certain devices are there which are transferred to the particular destination. So remote monitoring, naturally at these office setting, for example, I have to send a certain device, or any industry to send its certain products from Bangalore to Amritsar. So it can monitor right sitting in the Bangalore itself. So remote monitoring is there, vehicle location is there, vehicle diagnostics are there, remote control. All these features are helping in fleet management systems. And then the healthcare and mission critical applications. So 5G is helping us in the various healthcare applications and mission critical applications, right? So as I had told earlier, if any person, any doctor is want to consult during on-site surgery, surgery is doing, and you want to consult certain critical case to the any other doctor sitting there, you want to discuss with him, chat with him, video conferencing, directly live system. So that can be helpful in 5G can be give a great help in this, because direct monitoring, direct analysis can be done at this very fast data transfer rate with very reduced latency. So online systems can be there. Then autonomous driving, as I had told. So this is the autonomous driving system is there. So what is the main hindrance in that? Main hindrance is we have to take decision at a very fast rate in a very less time for the avoidance of certain accident or collision. So for this, 5G is the solution. And dear students, driverless car is not possible without the 5G systems. Drone operation. So you can see we can have the drone operation with these 5G systems, security and surveillance. So industry automation, healthcare, smart cities, agriculture, connected cars, gaming, enhanced data connectivity. So this is all used in 5G security intelligence systems. And then satellite internet, we can have using the internet by using the satellite through 5G techniques. So again, 5G race is still going on, and commercial deployment of 5G systems is expected in coming year. Field trials are already in process and from 2018 onwards, because what are the next generation technologies we are discussing, like AI systems, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, industrial IoT, smart home, smart farming, as I had told. It is autonomous cars, driverless cars. It is not possible without very high data transfer rate and very reduced latency. So these are some of the applications, and for all these problems, or we can say, I will say the 5G is the only solution. So 5G provides at least 10-fold improvement in user experience compared to 4G in terms of peak data rates and minimal latency. 5G will deliver an ecosystem for sustainable technical and business innovation. It supports multi-tenancy and network resource slicing models. So new architecture will be used, and 5G will be designed to be sustainable and scalable technology. So what are my final thoughts, dear students? So 5G is one of the most sophisticated wireless technologies we have developed ever so far. And it is the need of the future, right? Now it will revolutionize the entire area where the wireless networks can be used for efficient and secure communication. So the socio-economic impact, we are just analyzing it. However, it will make a significant impact on every area where transmission or wireless transmission is inevitable. So till date, lot of countries in the world are moving towards the 5G. Already, Germany has established its infrastructure, and 80% of the Germany population is in 5G, right? In India, we are in just infancy state, but within next 2-3 years, the 5G will be in very, very common, and it will revolutionize our basic life, social life, industrial life, medical life, whatever you can think of. 5G is the, as I had told, if we see some of the applications like driverless car, industrial automation, IoT systems, smart homes, smart cities, you may be aware of that. Our government has identified the some of the cities which are going to be smart. So if we are making our city smart, naturally they will help the common man which are living in that city. Now, for example, if there is any emergency, or if I am going for sport, going for viewing a movie, right? So sitting from my home, even before I am starting, I can book the movie ticket, even I can book the parking place, and I can be aware that a particular parking for my car is available, or that you can very well aware. If I am going with my family for some theater, right, or mall, and if it is packed, there is no vacancy for parking, I have to come back. So that is very embarrassing for me, right? But I can avoid all these situations through such applications. So it means the whole of the world will be in your hand, and you can do any such activity for entertainment, for your even medical applications, for smart homes, smart cities, for your medical healthcare, uh, for industrial automations. All the devices can be made smart. Moreover, the number of devices which are going to be connected are 1,000 times more than the present technique. So that gives you a better opportunity, and we hope all the best for our future. We are moving to that technology, and as I have told, as per my opinion, this is the greatest technology we have evolved till date, and we can communicate throughout the world, and naturally that will make our life much more easier, much more healthier, and much more better. So thanks. Any questions? It is welcome.
Sir, thank you so much first for giving this an insightful presentation and the knowledge that you've given about the 5G. I mean, it is so intense and immense, of course. So thank you so much, sir, for coming in here, for giving in your time, for crediting your time, basically, and for telling all the experiences, all the things that you were telling about the 5G and how it can actually implement the world and influence the world in a positive way. So, sir, thank you so much. And sir, we have few questions from our attendees, basically our registrants here. So can I take them up, sir?
Sure, sure.
Right. Sir, okay, so this question, I think we've had a little discussion in the webinar also, like what are those environment hazards that can happen by the implication of the 5G?
Okay, so I had discussed also this. So till 4G, as I had shown you certain design of that, in 4G, we were designing the very, very big antennas. And naturally, the big antenna were radiating a little bit energy, which was much more harmful to the environment. But in 5G, we have specially catered to that. As I had shown you the design, the size of the antenna is much reduced, and it is in the room itself. So number of antennas are more, and the size of the base station is much more less, what we can say transmitting station. So therefore, it is not producing any hazard to the environment. And that we call 5G the main application, that it is more environment friendly as compared to the other techniques developed till.
Definitely, sir. And so there's another question that is almost related. So this question came from Viraha, and it says, when we implicate the 5G basically in the world, so aren't there more of cybersecurity concerns that rises?
Yes, that I had already told. Now in the 5G also, we are catering to the security systems also. So security features are added. There are so many layers in that you can see, we can add in that. Now we see we can add certain OTP. Now security features are much more. And in the 5G, we have specially catered to the security features. So if we go for the CDMA technology and multi-carrier systems, the security is much more as compared to the previous technology. The security feature has been taken care in 5G also.
Right. And so there's one question when you were telling about all the cities that are to be the smart cities now that government has decided already. So this question is generally basically related to that only. So our villages will be also, included in the smart cities, or there will be only cities that are there in the main, like all those main cities, right? I mean, are there only be those cities that are smart cities, or villages can also have the chance to become a smart maybe village?
Yes, madam, that I had told earlier. Now you see, I had shown you the graph of revenue. Naturally, till date, 5G requires lot of infrastructure and lot of investment can be done. Investment should be done for this. Naturally, if investment is there, certain the company require the outcome also. So naturally, first target will be for the big cities where the revenue can be generated and the life of the people can be much more easy because cities are very big and all these places are very distant from each other. For example, if I have to go to certain emergency for a mall or for a civil hospital, I can go for that. And main application is crowd management. So as far as the cities are there, more problems are there as compared to villages. But naturally, first target will be towards the big cities where these problems are very common. And all these problems are very less in the villages, but slowly, these villages can also be covered.
Yeah. And with this, sir, we have our last question, and it is from Arularshi. So it says, is this 5G network very risky to our nature? I mean, very
But,
general question.
I actually don't understand the question. What was the question? Can you repeat?
Very risky to our nature.
No. That I already conveyed to you. Now you can see when any technology started. So earlier we had a landline. Now, due to the requirement of our mankind, we moved to a 2G, 3G, and 4G. Now, when we analyze these technologies were little bit harmful, though there is no proven research for that, but actually little bit harmful that due to the radiation they were emitted. Now we have come to know how we can reduce the radiations. And then 5G is the solution for that. It is eco-friendly. So as I had told, here, number one, why the things are more dangerous? We have installed the big base stations, big towers, and they're radiating energy. Now in 5G, the big towers are not there. Already the size of towers is reduced, and that is limited within a particular geographical area like room. So they are not harming any of the nature.
Right. Sir, thank you so much for resolving the queries of the students, of the participants. And now I would like to ask if anyone has any query, you can post in the chat box or Q&A box. And so meanwhile, I would want to take your permission to show them a little about the site and the admission process. Can I?
Sure, madam. Sure.
Okay. So for the same, I will be sharing my screen, and I hope that just in a moment, yeah, my screen is visible to all. That is the site. So this site is one-shot resolution to every query that we've had regarding admissions as to where you go, you can go and what you need to do. So this is the site, and once you click on this site, or once you put in this site in the browser, this will be the interface that will be coming in front of you. Now I will be moving to admissions here. Once I click on admissions, you can see different programs that are already mentioned. I mean, that are already listed here after 12th, after graduation, after post-graduation, doctoral, diploma, 10th, and other program as well. So I'm just taking an example. Let's say you are a student who has done your 12th grade and wants to take admission in your regular program. You simply click on regular undergraduate program. And after that, you will be seeing different disciplines. I mean, you name any discipline and we have it here. Science, food tech, microbiology, political science, Punjabi, performing arts, physical education, engineering. So I'm just clicking on engineering here. It's very hot, basically, very hot stream as well. So once I click on engineering, you can see different stream computer science, mechanical, biotechnology, electrical, electronics. And since we were talking a lot about the same, why not take an example of that? So I will be just simply clicking on that. And once I click on any of the stream, you can see the program that is offered under that. You can see BTech here, electronics and electrical engineering. And once I click on the program, you can see all, I mean, this is where you will be getting all the details you want about a particular course, right? So in next 1 minute, I'll be briefing them all. So program details basically gives you the eligibility. See, it is highlighted here and it gives you the eligibility, whether you're eligible for a particular course or not to take admission in. Highlights gives you all the placements, all the researches, patents, citations, what PhD scholars are doing, how much students are achieving in the particular course, and the rankings that university has in context with the course or the stream that you're choosing. Now, moving to the fee structure, basically gives you an idea what is your fee going to be for this per semester on like 20,000. But again, this is not the general fee that our students pay. Why? Because they get a lot of scholarships, and the basis of the scholarships are here. Basically, we have three slabs of the scholarship, and you can avail up to 48% of the program fee waiver. And you need to just explore how you can avail that. So basically, you have LPNS test, 12th marks, or JEE mains percentile as well. Now moving to other scholarships, other than these scholarships, we have financial aids and special scholarships. For example, if you have been a part of an innovation or startup or entrepreneur project, you will be getting a scholarship. You will be getting financial aids if you are eligible to, and hence I would like to request you to kindly explore. And if you're eligible, kindly apply for the same. Now is the important date that I would want to show is the 25th June. It is just tomorrow. So I would like you to, urge you to kindly, explore the site and apply for the course or the test that you want to. Now, simply you can apply from here, apply now option. And once you click on that option, you will be getting this interface wherein you have to fill in some of the details. And after that, you click on submit. And after that, you will be given your dashboard. And from there, you can simply apply for the course or the test. Now, I hope that I've given you a little brief as to what you need to do in order to take admission or in order to fill in the form for the test. But if I could not tell anything, or if you want me to address anything, any problem that you have, you can write in the chat box or Q&A box, or you can simply schedule a call. You can simply WhatsApp us, or you can have a live video counseling session as well. So I hope that this is the brief that you've understood what you need to do in order to take admissions. And I think we've got a question. Okay, so with this, I think, sir, I would like to take your permission to wrap this webinar up, sir, if you don't want to add anything to it.
Okay, madam. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for coming in here and for giving all the, it was an insightful session for not me and for all the participants. And I hope that, like me, I was enjoying all the advances that has already been done and that can happen in the near future. I hope that participants must have also enjoyed the session. And last, thank you to all the participants also for coming in and for giving in your questions. So until next webinar, stay safe and stay healthy, and meet you soon in the next webinar.